Hey bass players, I hope you're all doing well out there. This video is all about Warwick's new MS800 multi-stage bass amp. The Warwick MS or Multi-Stage 800 is a dual-channel solid-state bass amp with 800 watts of Class D power into 4 ohms or 480 watts into 8 ohms. On the front panel from left to right, we have inputs 1 and 2. This is a dual-channel amp, so that means you can have 2 different basses plugged in at the same time and switch between the 2 using the preamp stage button. Each preamp stage has its own unique tone shaping, gain, and drive. Or, if you're just using one bass, you can still switch between the 2 preamp stages for 2 totally unique different tones. Below the preamp stage, we have the gain control for each input channel with clip indicators to let you know if you're clipping the signal going into the power amp. All of the front panel knobs are stack knobs, with the ring controlling the settings for channel 2 and the top knob controlling the settings for channel 1. To the left of the preamp stage, we have the drive section. This is really cool because you could dial in just the amount of drive you want for each channel and turn that drive on or off for each channel. There's also a handy LED indicator to let you know which drive is active. The drive works in conjunction with the gain control, so increasing the gain while the drive is active will also increase the amount of distortion. Alright, before we get much further, let's do some tone examples. Right now I'm using channel 1, and I've got everything set up kind of as a mid-forward bass sound. Sounds like this. Very cool, really nice and pure sounding. I'm going to switch it over to preamp stage 2, where I've got a little bit of gain and distortion. Sounds like this. It's a really nice flexible drive and it responds well to how you're digging in. Right now I've got the drive set up about 3/4 and I've got the gain set up about halfway. And we can turn everything up just a little bit more. Switch back to channel 1. One of the things I really love about this amp is how neutral it is. It's not coloring the sound of my bass at all. It sounds really, really pure and it sounds like the bass. Or if you've got some pedals in front of it or in the effects loop, they really sound incredible too. All right, back to the front panel. Next to the drive, we have a tuner. I think I've got the tuner activated right now, so you can see if I'm playing the D, when the Warwick W is green, you're in tune. The thing I like about this too is you can have it on all the time, and when you're playing, you can just go, check your tuning if you're in doubt. Say your guitar player is playing and you're like, that doesn't sound right. You can at least check your tuning and make sure that you're right. Then you know that guy's whammy bar has made him out of tune. So the cool thing about the tuner is when you're flat, the letters to the left of the W are going to light up, showing you how flat you are. And if you're sharp, the letters to the right of the W are going to show up. And so it's a nice little indicator there to get you to the W, which is in tune. If you want a silent tune, you'll have to hit the mute button all the way over here. Next thing we've got is the Bluetooth button, so you can connect your phone or tablet for silent practicing. That signal gets routed just to the headphones directly below the mute button, and it is just for silent practice. Next to the tuner and the Bluetooth buttons, we have a compressor. This is a really great compressor, and even though it has stack knobs, it functions the same for both preamps. This knob controls the threshold and ratio settings of a typical compressor, so the more you dial in, the more your signal is being compressed. The attack and release timing is based on the signal envelope, and the ring is your makeup gain. So the more you're compressing, you might be turning it up. You can gain match with that inner ring. All right, let's skip down here to the EQ section, and this thing is expansive. So all the EQ knobs are center detinted at 12 o'clock, and you've got an incredible plus or minus 15 dB of cut or boost for tone shaping. So the bass here is centered at 50 Hertz, and the treble all the way over here is centered at 6.5 Hertz. When you look at the low mids and the high mids, you'll notice you have selectable center frequencies for even more precise tone shaping. The low mid can either be centered at 250, 350, or 450 Hertz. And the high mids can either be centered at 800 Hertz, 1K, or 1.2K. That's an incredible degree of personalized tone shaping for each of the two preamp stages. And the cool thing about it is, it's all right here on the front of the amp. There's no presets to recall, trying to figure out what your EQ settings are. You can see everything right here on the front of the amp as you're playing. I think that's awesome. Finally, to wrap things up on the front panel, we have two stack knobs for the output volume for each preamp. Now let's flip over to the back and go over the output options. We've got the power switch, and next to that we've got the cabinet emulator. The cab emulator is applied to only the headphone out and the DI outputs. For this video, I've got things mic'd up with a Universal Audio standard SD5, so we're not listening to the direct out, but I can do that in another video. On the cabinet emulation, we've got a 115 with a horn, we've got a 410 with a horn, and we've got a 112. Next, we have an effects loop with send and return level controls. Below that is an aux mini plug for connecting audio sources. Next up is the XLR DI output. You have a ground lift and a pre and post for selecting the DI signal before or after the tone stack. You've got two speaker twist connectors for connecting one or two cabinets. If you're using a couple of cabinets, just be sure to pay attention to the ohms rating for each cabinet. This head is 800 watts into 4 ohms, so connecting a single 4 ohm cabinet is obviously okay. Connecting two 8 ohm cabinets will make the output 4 ohms, but connecting two 4 ohm cabinets will make the total load 2 ohms, and that's not good. Next up, we've got a full range or a biamp switch, and that has a cover over it to keep it from accidentally being switched on during transport. Basically, biamping splits your signal into high and low frequencies. Your lows are sent through the speaker twist connections, and the highs are sent through the 1/4 inch line out. I've covered all the biamping in its own video, and you can find a link to it right here. Finishing up here on the back panel, we've got a line out, and that can either send a full range signal to a mixing console or audio device, or it can be used for the highs when you're in biamp mode. There's a USB-B port for connecting to your computer for recording or for playback. There's also a TRS foot switch jack for switching input channels or turning the compressor on and off. So I gotta tell you, I've owned a lot of amps over the years, and this thing has to be the most feature-packed, compact, and lightweight amp I've ever owned. There really isn't much you can't do with this amp. You really need to check one of these things out. Well, that's it for today's video about the feature-packed Warwick MS 800 bass amp. I appreciate you watching. Please like and subscribe, and I hope to see you again soon. Take care.